You check your bank account and feel nothing. Another month, another paycheck, same balance that never seems to move. You see other people posting vacation photos, new cars, designer everything, and you wonder if you're falling behind. Here's the catch. You might already be winning and just don't see it yet. Most people measure wealth wrong. They look at the highlight reel and miss the foundation. By the end of this video, I'll show you 5 quiet signs that you're actually richer than you think, and more importantly, why these signs predict long-term wealth better than any Instagram flex ever will. My name is Ivan, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, compound interest, and why most people never seem to escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle. If you're someone who actually wants to understand how wealth building really works instead of just hoping for the best, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up being helpful. Here's why this matters. Wealth isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself with logos and car payments. Real wealth hides in boring habits that compound over decades. 2 people making the same $75,000 can be living in completely different financial realities. One feels broke and stressed, the other feels calm and secure. The difference isn't income, it's these 5 quiet indicators. If you got even 3 of these, you're further ahead than you think. Sign 1, you have an emergency fund. Most Americans don't have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved. If you do, you're already well ahead of the curve. This isn't just about the money sitting there, it's about what that money does to your brain. An emergency fund is the difference between panic and calm when life happens. And life will happen. The car breaks down, the water heater dies, you need dental work. These aren't surprises, they're inevitabilities. Here's the psychology. Without a buffer, every unexpected expense becomes a crisis. You're 1 car repair away from credit card debt. 1 medical bill away from choosing between rent and groceries. That's survival mode, and survival mode makes terrible financial decisions. But with 3 to 6 months saved, you shift from reactive to proactive. You're not scrambling, you're solving problems calmly and moving on. The consequence of not having this? Your emergency fund becomes Visa or American Express. You're paying 22% interest on someone else's money while they profit from your crisis. Studies show a lot of Americans are 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy. That's horrible, but if you've built even a month or 2 of runway, you're climbing out of that trap. The action? If you don't have this yet, start with $1,000. Then build to 1 month of expenses, then 3, then 6. Every dollar in that account is buying you options and peace of mind. 2 things you can't put a price on. Sign 2, you live below your means. This is the hardest one for most people. If your expenses don't automatically rise every time your income does, you're doing something most people never figure out. When you get a raise, do you immediately upgrade your car, your apartment, your lifestyle, or do you keep living the same way and redirect that extra income towards savings and investments? That gap between what you earn and what you spend, that's where wealth gets built. Here's the trap. Lifestyle inflation is silent and automatic. You make more, you spend more. It feels natural, even deserved. You worked hard for that raise. Why not enjoy it? But every dollar you spend on upgrading today is a dollar that can't compound for your future. The math is brutal. An extra $500 per month spent on a nicer apartment instead of invested is over $730,000 lost over 30 years at 7% return. You traded $750,000 in future wealth for slightly nicer countertops. The psychology here is comparison and status. You look around at peers making similar money and feel pressure to match their lifestyle. But here's what you don't see. Most of them are broke. They're financing the appearance of wealth while drowning in payments. The consequence? They'll work until 70. You won't. The action? When income rises, freeze your lifestyle for 6 months. Let the extra cash pile up. Then decide consciously, not reflexively, what to do with it. Most of the time, the answer is invest it, not spend it. Sign 3, you invest strategically. You're not just saving, you're investing. Whether it's a 401k, an IRA, a brokerage account, or a Roth, you're making regular contributions. You're not timing the market or chasing meme stocks. You're thinking long term. You understand that wealth compounds slowly and that the best investors are boring, patient, and consistent. Here's what separates strategic investors from everyone else. Automation and discipline. Your investments happen automatically. Every paycheck. You don't think about it. You don't debate it. You don't skip months when you feel like treating yourself. The money moves before you can touch it. Invest first, spend what's left, never the other way around. This is the foundation of every wealthy person's money system. The consequence of not doing this? You'll work your entire life and have nothing to show for it at the end. Social Security replaces about 40% of pre-retirement income for average earners. If that's your only plan, you're retiring into poverty. But if you're investing 15 to 20% of your income starting in your 20s or 30s, cars, you're building a 7-figure portfolio by retirement. The math works every single time if you let it run. The action: automate your investments today. Set a percentage that goes straight from your paycheck into retirement accounts and brokerage. 15% minimum if you're starting young, 25% if you're starting late. Treat it like rent, non-negotiable. Sign 4, you have multiple income streams or you're building toward them. This doesn't mean you need a side hustle right now, but it means you're thinking beyond your paycheck. Maybe you're building investment accounts that will eventually throw off dividends. Maybe you and your spouse both work, creating diversification. Maybe you're strategically planning for retirement income from multiple sources. Social Security, a pension, a 401k, rental income, brokerage, dividends. Here's the key: wealthy people don't rely on one income source. That's too fragile. What happens if you lose your job? What happens if the company goes under? What happens when you retire and the paycheck stops? If you've only ever had one stream, you're vulnerable. But if you built multiple streams or you're actively working toward them, you're anti-fragile. One stream dries up and you're still fine. The consequence? Single income dependence is high risk. It feels stable until it isn't. But multiple streams create resilience and options. The action? Start building. Max out retirement accounts. That's future passive income. Invest in taxable brokerage accounts for dividend income. If you're entrepreneurial, consider rental property or a small business. If you're not, focus on building investment accounts that will pay you when you stop working. Diversification isn't just for portfolios, it's for income too. Sign 5, you focus on the long term. You don't panic when the market drops. You don't check your accounts obsessively. You don't chase trends or try to time the market. You have a plan and you stick to it. This is the ultimate sign of financial maturity, the ability to ignore short-term noise and stay committed to long-term strategy. Here's the psychology. Studies show that investors who check their accounts the least often perform the best. Why? Because they're not tempted to panic sell during downturns or chase performance during bubbles. They set a plan, automate it, and let time do the work. Meanwhile, the people checking their portfolios every hour are the ones who buy high, sell low, and wonder why they never get ahead. The consequence of short-term thinking? You'll make emotional decisions that destroy wealth. Selling in a crash locks in losses. Chasing hot stocks usually means buying at the peak. Market timing is a loser's game. Even professionals can't do it consistently. But long-term thinking? That's a winner's game. The S&P 500 has returned about 10% annually over the last century. Stay invested for decades and you win. The action? Stop checking your accounts daily. Set quarterly or semi-annual reviews. Trust the process. Work with a financial advisor if you need someone to keep you calm during turbulence. The goal is to stay invested through the ups and downs because that's the only way compounding works. Here's the brutal truth. You don't have to feel rich to be on the right track. Most people measure wealth by what they see: cars, clothes, vacations. But those are liabilities, not assets. The person driving the 20-year-old Honda with $500,000 invested is infinitely wealthier than the person driving the $80,000 BMW with negative net worth. Wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about being rich. If you're checking off even 3 of these 5 signs, you're quietly building wealth in a way that's going to last. You've got good habits, a good mindset, and a good approach. You're not comparing yourself to someone else's highlight reel, you're building your own foundation. And that foundation, an emergency fund, living below your means, strategic investing, multiple income streams, and long-term focus, that's what separates people who retire with options from people who work until they die. The average American has less than $5,000 saved for retirement. If you've got $50,000, you're in the top third. If you've got $200,000, you're in the top 20%. If you've got $500,000, you're in the top 10%. The bar is lower than you think, which means getting ahead is more achievable than it feels. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent and patient. So before you look at someone else's life and feel behind, take stock of your own habits. Do you have an emergency fund? Are you living below your means? Are you investing strategically? Are you building multiple income streams? Are you focused on the long term? If you can answer yes to 3 or more, you're richer than you think. And if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll be richer than most people will ever be. The path to wealth is boring, but it works. And it starts with recognizing that you're already further along than you realized.